difference.
Yeah, right?
This is amazing.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing excellent. Today we're going to be working on quieting the interior of the FC. In one of our previous videos, we were able to install a new muffler in the exhaust and fix an exhaust leak, and that significantly quieted the car down. In the inside of the car, we were able to drop it from, let me check my notes, 98 to 112 decibels from idle to about 4,000 RPMs down to 87 to 104, which is a very significant decrease. However, there's still a lot of road noise coming into the cabin and a lot of exhaust noise as well. So what we're going to do today is attempt to quiet that down even further. So here's what we're going to be working with to accomplish this. I have a series of plugs, different sizes to plug holes we have that just make the cabin not separated from the outside. And we're going to be using some Noico products. So here I have the 150 mil sound deadening insulation. This product takes the place of your factory carpet padding. So this comes in sheets like this, but this is going to go on top of this, which is the big heavy stuff. This is the sound deadening mat. Get that open. So this is Noico's version of what we commonly know as Dynamat. So this stuff is nice and heavy, comes in these big sheets, has a butyl rubber layer and an aluminum surface. This side is sticky, so we'll be sticking this down on the inside of the cabin. Also, something I'm pretty excited about is I got a new rear carpet. Now, this is our rear carpet, and you can see right here, stored it, tried to keep it nice, but the lid to the container was open. It was in the backyard, and some rats ate it out. And even though I steam extracted this thing, that piece still bothered me. This is actually a little bit better condition over here, and it was made for a 2+2. So you'll see here I have provisions for the storage buckets, and this one does not. But what's kind of cool about that is that I'm going to be able to lay this down in the back of the buckets to provide even better sound dampening and everything, and then use this section to go in front. So what I'm going to do is right along here and right along here, you'll see there are bolt holes because there's actually a factory piece that goes right in there and holds the carpet down. So I'll be making a new one of those in a later episode just to finish this off, but I'm going to cut right behind there and then just overlap those two pieces. So that's going to be pretty cool, I think. Now previously, if you've been watching the channel, long ago when we still had the car stripped down, we sprayed a product in here called Lizard Skin. Lizard Skin is a spray-on sound deadening and heat barrier that you can apply directly to any metal or primered surface inside your car. Now, I'm not going to say the Lizard Skin has done nothing, but it's not quieting to the level that I expect for a street car. This is kind of a retro mod project, a resto mod project, excuse me. And so we want it to feel tight and firm like a race car, but we want it to feel quiet and comfortable like a modern street car, at least as close as we can get in our home garage using products that you can buy on Amazon. Now, all those products I just showed you, I'm going to leave the link in the description below, as well as the tool to apply them. And if you're going to be doing this project, I highly suggest you get yourself one of these. This is a panel popper, and it makes removing your body panels, especially on a very old car, much easier without damaging them. So you put this behind where a clip is and you gently pry and it pops the clip out. If you start pulling on it with your hand or prying it with the screwdriver, you're not going to get the correct leverage, and usually what happens is you break the plastic clip and you lose plastic piece on the body panel, and you lose that clipping point, which creates more rattling and more problems. So let me show you a quick view of what that is, and then I'm going to get this prepped. So here I have the body panels I pulled off, just sitting in a pile off to the side, and you'll see here is a clip, and here is where there used to be a clip. Okay, so I still have many clipping points on this panel, so it works pretty well, but this is the result of pulling this panel off without a panel puller like this. When you do that, these brittle plastic parts here break and you lose the ability to clip it there. So just a bit of advice if you're going to do something like this on an older car before you get started, and even on a newer car, because you do not want to break your brand new car's body panels. So in today's video, I'm just going to be taking care of the back portion of the FC inside of the hatch. So the front section actually still has its sound deadening from the factory. In the back section here, many years ago, we took it all out. So usually you're going to have more strips of factory sound deadening laid throughout here, which helps a lot with noise and road noise and exhaust sound, but it's gone here, so we're going to be replacing that. The front, we're going to be double checking and trying to improve that area when we take on a big project, which is going to include replacing both seats, as well as getting the dash back out again and installing an air conditioning system, an aftermarket air conditioning system. So if you're interested in that content, please make sure to subscribe so you can be notified when that comes out. For right now, I need to get this surface prepped. So I'm going to be vacuuming out the entire interior in the back, and I'm going to be wiping it down with some grease remover and letting that basically degreaser and letting that dry before I apply the sticky side of the Noico product. Okay, so while that degreaser is drying, I'm going to go ahead and grab those body plugs and hunt and search around and plug as many holes as possible, and then we'll get the sound deadening mat laid down. So I applied some of those plugs, see some here, and you can see that if you look closely, they didn't quite fit, so I had to kind of cut them like a Pac-Man and then force them in there. There's a few small ones scattered about as well, but I'm hoping that this makes some difference. And now, sound deadening. Okay, so I feel like I'm ready to start laying down this sound deadening mat. To get some practice with it, because I've never done this before, I'm going to start on this flat area. Might not be the way that's recommended, but I'm going to go ahead and start here. I've got a simple set of tools, a knife, a roller, and some scissors. So let's get started. Okay, so I got the first two laid down. You can see it's going down pretty well. What making it really good is that it's easy to cut with just regular scissors, and I just have like basically a utility knife right there. I'm using the little roller to, it's great. You can just roll it down to make sure it's adhering well, and then when there's a weird contour, like you see all this, you use the other end, and you can just kind of, let's see if I can find one, just scrape it along there. Scrape it along there, and it's going down really nicely. Got some folded down into the spare tire area, and I'm keeping all the scraps so that I can fill in random weird places and so on. So it's easy to work with. I'm going to go ahead and bust through some more of this without subjecting you to too much time lapse, and I'll come back when I'm done. Okay, so I'm almost completely done with the sound deadening layer. Let me show you. Oh boy, so shiny. Got the wheel wells all covered, cargo bins all covered. There's some gaps there because we need to bolt down the battery there, and there's some gaps in general because the way this stuff works is, what it does is you put a piece down on a piece of metal that would vibrate and cause noise like that, cavitation or whatever you want to call it, and it deadens that. And in a factory vehicle, they find specific spots to apply just as little as possible to achieve that result that gives them an acceptable road noise and exhaust noise level in the vehicle, but as you start modifying a car, even if we didn't take out the sound deadening back here, you change the exhaust, you change the suspension, you change the ride height, you're gonna get more noise in the cabin because it's not on factory specs. So if this is something you're looking to do, I highly recommend so far just using this material. It's pretty easy to work with, it's pretty affordable. But next up is applying the what do they call this? Sound insulation. So this layer is also going to make a big difference. So this is the same thing. Well, not same thing. It's very different, but it's a closed cell foam with a sticky back layer. So this is going to go on top of that. It's the same amount of square feet, even though different type of sheets. So this will not go every single place that I have the sound deadening, because this, as I said earlier, I think I said carpet, but it takes the place of your factory underlayer carpet, like that foam, not foam, but like carpet filler stuff that they put in there. And that's going to be another level of protection, but it'll mostly go on the flat surfaces, not as detailed as all this is. But anyway, it's getting pretty late, so I'm a stopping point for now. So I'm going to pick this back up in the morning and hopefully get a little ride test tomorrow. It doesn't really make a difference for you viewers, but coming up next is going to be laying out that next layer, getting the interior back in, and then taking a road test for the decibels. All right, it is the next afternoon, and I am back. And I've made quite a bit of progress here, as you can see. So, story goes like this. I had to go to work today. Today is actually Memorial Day, and I knew it was going to be absolutely dead. So I brought the box of the Noico Red 150 mil right here, and I went to town. And basically, I got completely done. So it looks pretty cool. You can see it's nice and form-fitted. I have a great amount of coverage everywhere. And basically the method I use is these sheets are really, really easy to work with, but they're super, super sticky. So you have to really plan out how you're going to remove the backing and how you're going to get it to stick where you want it to. And then push it down the same way with the rolling tool that we did everything else. But it's not as malleable, so you need to get it a little bit tighter fit, meaning that it won't stretch to fit in here if you don't leave enough slack to push it in. So it takes a couple tries. I used, as you can see here, the idea that overlap was fine and overlapped a lot. And they do actually sell tape that you can put on to cover any joints. But instead what I did is I did overlap, and then I kind of put on little pieces like Band-Aids to cover any gaps. So I'm assuming that'll work well. Got it all the way back in here, just a nice big sheet on the back. And in here, you'll see this area doesn't have as much coverage because I'm not sure how much this contributes to the sound inside the car. However, the reason I'm not going crazy on this area first is because the carpet here is really easy to pull out. This is where the spare tire would go if I had one. So if I need to add a little bit more later, I always can. But up here, where you have to install and screw things in, I went ahead and made sure I had complete coverage. So now, it's time to slap the interior back in and get ready to take this baby around the block and see if there's a sound difference. about this once I made my cut. You can see the back of the storage bins is exposed, but I don't think it looks that bad. And I think I have a little idea to secure the carpet right there. I'm going to give it a shot. Alright, so here's my solution to hold that carpet in place. I got these guys. I got these a long time ago to build my chicken coop. They're really cool. They're like roofing screws, and they've got a little washer on them with the rubber grommet. I put another washer underneath it so it'd be wide enough to cover the holes in the carpet, and it kind of has a cool look to it. And this exposed down here, I mean, I'm not too mad about it. It doesn't look bad. But what I could, of course, do is pull the carpet from underneath there, flip it up, and cut it along that portion, and then still screw it down if I want to cover that with carpet. But for now, I'm kind of cool with it. I got the carpet laid down in there for a little extra layer of sound insulation. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the storage bins in, and then almost there. All right, Jeff, take a look. Interior's back in. It's a little bit different there with the modified carpet, but looks pretty good, huh?
Yeah, you can tell that there's actually like a lot of stuff underneath it now. You can,
yeah, it's not really just sagging around.
Yeah, it's really a lot more filling. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So now it's the moment of truth. We're going to go for a quick ride. We've already warmed her up, so we don't have a cold start, because that would throw the data way off. But last time we got it to 87 to 104, I think, with the exhaust changes. So now let's see what sound deadening half the car from the hatchback does.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
So we got a fresh screen here. Ooh, already there's a difference.
Oh yeah.
spooling going on.
So what kind of numbers you getting there?
We're averaging 83.
Boost cut.
Max now is 105.
Yeah, because of the...
But I mean, yeah, average is still super low. Like it's staying like low 90s, high 80s, low 90s.
All right, well, it took 2 days of sticking stuff down in the back, but our average decibel is 83 now, which is lower than the minimum before, and the highest, which was when I hit boost cut and it kind of shook the whole car, was 105, which is not even the normal driving around noise before. So that's an incredible improvement. And with the 105 knocked out of the way, it was like low 90s for decibels. So that's a huge improvement. And that's only half the car. Eventually, we're going to be putting in seats, so we'll pull up the front carpet, and we're going to be putting in AC, an aftermarket AC. So we'll have to pull the dash, and we'll get behind there and put even better stuff, and it's going to be like a luxury vehicle. It's going to sound like a Bentley.
It's going to be a Bentley.
Yeah.
The Maserati in an RX7.
That's right, exactly. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please remember, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you have any questions or concerns, put them in the comments below, and when they ask you, tell them you want more.